غادي تكون en anglais. Hello, hello.
Hi, Fatima-Zahra. How are you
Hi,
doing?
how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you again.
Good. How are things going?
They're going great. I don't have as nice a view as you do. That's
Oh, really?
amazing.
Thank you so much. This is the view from my parents' house.
Wow. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
nice place. That's a nice
Thank
place
you
to be
so much.
in
This is
solitude.
Rabat.
Okay.
So how are you? How are things going?
Things are okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Figuring out the homeschooling and just the new schedule and new way of life.
The new life
Yeah.
with what's happening right now. Okay, so let me first introduce you. So first of all, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Thank you so much for giving me time to be with me in this live. Um, I would like to introduce you, but I want to let you talk about yourself better than me. But let me first tell people, where did I get to know Mr. Ryan Kirk? I knew him from his lovely videos that he's putting on his YouTube channel, where he's talking to Moroccans and trying to spread wisdom.
Hmm.
And all of the content that he's putting online, the lot of work that he's doing to get those videos is for us, for Moroccans, to help us to develop ourselves, to get to learn new things, and to make us love Morocco. So thank you so much, Ryan, for this. And as I always tell you, your famous sentence, which is "Hello, Morocco," that you start your videos with. This is like, this is like something that make us, motivated to know about our culture, about what we have as, to be grateful for what we have here in
Hmm.
Morocco. So thank you so much for that. And I'm letting you to introduce yourself to people who are with us in this live.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate all that introduction. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Welcome. So I would like to know from you, like, if you can just introduce yourself to people, to tell them about who you are, what are you doing exactly, so that they can know you, they can go watch your videos, look for stuff that you put on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I can see different people that are joining. I just saw Ayub Rehan saying hello, Morocco. He always
Hello,
does it too.
Morocco!
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel that's focused on personal development and the situation in Morocco. Some of my videos are interviewing people in the country that are doing great things. I've done a video with Ayub Rehan. He's a digital marketing expert, has a brand new course that he's launched.
You
Um,
are waiting for you. I asked Ryan about you a long time ago. I said, where is Ayub? He disappeared. I'm one of your fans, and we want you to come back to your Instagram videos. They were very interesting, actually.
Yeah, he's almost disappeared for a full year because he was working so hard on the course that he produced, and now it's
Yes.
ready. So he's begun emerging from his office and his cave. So it's good to have him back. But yeah, I've done interviews with people like Ayub. He was sharing some of his expertise on LinkedIn and the way to leverage that platform. With Kamal Haras, who's another Moroccan influencer, with Sophia and Amin. Uh, just great people that are doing great things in the country. And a
Yes.
lot of them are helping highlight some of the opportunities and some of the great things that are going on here in Morocco to help
Yep.
shift people's mindset, because some people struggle to see all the positive things and they focus more on the negatives. So that's partly why my channel is named Maroc Treasure, is to help people see not just the treasure within themselves and the gifts that God has given them, but also the treasures here in this country and the opportunities that are before us.
True, sure. So today we are here to talk about the power of habits.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that you are training people to know, like you are having the training of Power of Habits that
Mm-hmm.
I personally attended with you. It was
Yeah.
so powerful, it was so interesting. And living these conditions right now with this coronavirus, we would like to help people to know, or to know about the habits that they are having right now, and at the same time how they can shift few habits, make them powerful, or how they can learn new habits to be able to be productive during this time that they are staying at home, doing nothing, let's say doing
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Basically, they are doing nothing because they are stopped from going outside, going to work. So they are working, yes, but most of the time they are sitting doing nothing. So when there is empty time, definitely we'll be having some habits that will, be born somewhere. So how
Mm-hmm.
can we handle the situation right now?
Yeah, this is a very interesting time. So Moroccans have all experienced how much life changes during Ramadan. For 1 month, people's schedules shift, some businesses change, some people's work routine changes, but this is even more dramatic. This is even more of a shift, and it could be even longer than a month. But we know it's going to be at least a month that we're going to be living like this, very isolated in our homes, some of us with a lot of extra time on our hands. And so there's the challenge, which comes from maintaining or keeping good habits and avoiding bad habits. But there's also an opportunity that comes because since our schedule has changed, since our routine has changed, a lot of things have been canceled. Many people are used to spending time traveling every day. They're on the tramway, or they're taking a bus, or they're driving in their car. That's no longer happening. Many people have a class schedule or appointments that they normally have. Those are canceled or shifted online. And so a lot of us have more time in our schedule, which,
Exactly.
though we're facing so many challenges, we also have to recognize in our mindset that this is a great opportunity, an opportunity to make positive changes in our lives. So this takes some intentional thinking. We really need to think through, okay, what shifts do I need to make in my routine, in my schedule, so that I can make the most of this time that I'm stuck at home, so that when I emerge, when I leave the house 1 month from now or 6 weeks from now, I'm better off. I'm a better version of myself. I'm healthier, I'm stronger, I'm more equipped, I'm more prepared, I'm in a better place, I'm a better version of me.
Exactly. As I always say, in this, like during those lives that I do, I'm trying to do them on daily basis to help people, to like to spread some knowledge, some
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, as you
Yeah.
say. And I always say that this time is a great opportunity for us to, to sit and think about what we have right now, what are the good things, what are
Mm-hmm.
the bad things, what can we change, things that we need to do to start a new life, because this is like we are having everything is paused right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yep.
This is a great time because it never happened before, and we'll
Right.
never have this chance again to have everything paused, everything slowing down, nothing moving. The only thing that we can do is to take some time with ourselves and think
Mm-hmm.
what's going wrong in our life, and then try to work on it, right? So when we are talking about this as a process, definitely we will find few habits, maybe not few, maybe too many habits that we have to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know, or I would like to help people to know how to identify the bad habits.
Well, there's a couple different uh, frameworks you can use to examine your habits. One is to think of yourself in the four dimensions. So there's the physical, there's the mental, there's the social, emotional, and there's the spiritual. So you can think of, your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul. And we're all individuals, we're one person, but we have these different dimensions of who we are. And most of us in each of those dimensions, we have things that are going well, things that we're happy with, good habits, and we have areas that we would like to improve. And so that can be a framework that helps you examine where you're at, almost like doing a self-assessment or doing an audit of yourself and how things are going in these areas of your life. So if you took your mental, you might think, okay, how's my skills? Is my education? Can I use this time to read more? Can I use this time to develop some new skills? Is this a good time to take a class? So we already mentioned, Ayub Rayhan has his digital marketing course. If you're a digital marketer and a lot of your clients aren't placing many ads at the moment, your work has slowed down, you're stuck at home, this might be a good opportunity to upskill. Or if you're a student and right now you don't have as many assignments or as many classes to attend, this might be a chance for you to read some stuff that's not part of your curriculum, just other things you're interested in. Or to take a separate course unrelated to your field of study to upgrade your skills. And so we can develop ourselves in the mental realm while we have this extra time. And then say something like the physical. There's a real danger in being stuck at home that we will spend limited time outside, especially those who live in an apartment. They don't have as much access to outdoor space, not as much room to move around. But, if you follow Sophia and Amin, Moroccan fitness influencers, they're posting daily workouts and, they have a few pieces of equipment, but they're showing a lot of exercises that don't require anything. If you have a chair and a mat on your floor, you can do these exercises. Or, I shared a video with a couple 5-liter Bahia bottles. Even that can be enough weight to do a lot of different exercises. And so you can think through your physical habits, and then also now's a good time to examine what you're eating and making sure you're trying to eat healthier than other times or get healthy sleep. One of the dangers of this season is with less commitments, it can be easy to stay up late and sleep in and getting into a bad sleeping pattern. I think it's great, Fatima-Zahra, that you're sharing all these videos and you're booking your day, you're scheduling appointments, because this is helping you to have accountability and to have a routine and a schedule. So you can't sleep in till noon and stay up till 4 in the morning. You've got work to do. You've got something to wake up in the morning for. And I think even somebody who's a student and hasn't built a career yet can follow that same pattern.
True. Actually, it's true. It's helping me to organize my day. So I know that at this time I have a life, so I have to prepare for it. And I do, like, if I can, I do 2 lives in one day. So I know that at 4 I have one, at 8 I have another one. So it's helping me to organize myself, to keep being productive, because this is what kills the creativity, the productivity. When you stop, you're lost, you don't know what to do, and then you go with the flow. You're like, okay, that's okay. Everyone is staying at home, nothing to do outside. So let me, take some time for myself. And then you just go in one circle and you keep turning. Then you find yourself stuck inside. You don't know how to go out, And the thing is, now we talked about people who will identify the habits and then try to do new things, learn new stuff to develop themselves. What about people who are not aware that they are having bad habits? Like sometimes you'll find someone who's sleeping till 12, but he's not aware that this is something bad, right? And even if he sees that people are moving, people are doing great things, they are trying to be productive, he's like, it's okay, he's not aware that he's harming himself or herself. And they feel guilty, but still they are like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. What can we tell them?
Yeah, I always find inspiration from people that I admire, people that are doing great things. You know, when I look at their lives, whether it's watching some content that they've produced or reading a book or watching a video about somebody's life, I think, whoa, it's amazing what this person did or what they're capable of. How did they get there? If I would like to be something similar, what would I have to do? And it helps change my mindset that if I dream of reaching this level, then am I taking the steps that are ever going to get me there? Because the people who have reached that level, they didn't just sit around and then magically
Of course.
overnight
Yeah.
transform into these great people. So, you know, using the example of fitness, when you look at Sophia and Amin and we think, wow, they're in such great shape, they're so fit, they have such a healthy lifestyle. That didn't happen overnight. You know, they got
Of course.
excited about exercise when they were in university, and they've been keeping their body fit for a decade. So the strength that he has to be able to lift the weights that he can, that takes a long, long time.
And
But
this is
when
something
you,
important, like, because both of them, they have the same interests. So both of them are working on the same goal. So maybe
mhm,
the first thing for those people is to find someone who's having the same, like, let's say, dream, because now you're there, you're sitting, you don't want to make any effort, but you're dreaming to be something, or you
mm,
are having in mind this, intention to do something like the other person. So try to find people who are having the same interests like you, so that
yeah,
you can, encourage each other to work on it or to make this change in your life.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like having a hero. It's having
Yeah,
somebody that inspires you, and these people push us to become the best version of ourselves, to reach our full potential.
exactly.
When we have these examples, it helps us look in the mirror and see the areas where we're not really reaching our full potential. We know we're capable of more.
Exactly. And when we're talking about creating new habits in our life, as we said, knowing that we need to make this change in our life, so we try to find the new habit. Um, how can we start?
Well, I think it's great to start small.
Okay.
So when you have the areas of your life you'd like to make a change, sometimes we have these moments of motivation where we're feeling energized. You might wake up and think, okay, today's the day. Now I'm going to make a big change. I'm going to reach my full potential. But you've got to recognize that change happens slowly. And
Okay.
so if you do too much too fast, you can hit an obstacle, and that obstacle might be something like you get sick, or someone in your family needs you, or there's some sort of crisis you need to take care of, or you just don't feel like it. You just lose motivation,
Okay.
and all those radical changes come crashing down. So I think starting small, just choosing a few habits to focus on, here's some areas I'd like to improve, can really be the foundation that we can build on over time. So starting small, I think we have all day long, sometimes having too much time on our hands, we can end up wasting it. And so
Yeah.
if you just have a few important goals that you want to accomplish during the day, like you've mentioned, you've got, your lives that you're doing right now. So you might have one at 4 o'clock, one at 8 o'clock. And if you have one or two other things that you want to accomplish each day, then the other things will fall into place. But again, one mistake we can make is having a long list on our to-dos. I'm going to get done 25 things today, and it's overwhelming, and we end up not getting the most important things done. So starting small, having a routine. And then another thing that really helps me is charting my progress. So when you're making a small step, sometimes you don't really see much change. So if
Yeah.
I exercise today and I look in the mirror, I'm still the same. I don't have any better muscles. I haven't lost any pounds. No change has taken place. But if I do it for 6 months, of course I'm going to see changes.
Sure.
But those days and days and days of working without seeing progress can be discouraging, and we can lose motivation. But if there's some way to chart your progress, so here's my little chart where I mark down things that I'm working on. So these are different areas of my life. my spiritual life, my role as a husband, my role as a father, my reading, my fitness, and I've got all these little markings that I do. And so if I complete a small action, whether it's going for a run or finishing a book or posting a new video, this helps encourage me. It helps it gives me a small reward for taking a step towards what I want, because obviously the reward of seeing the changes in my body or changes in my relationships, those are long-term results that I won't see right away. So these little colorings or check marks, it's like an instant reward that helps me keep going.
True. And this is like a tool that people can use to measure the self-development or like whatever things that you want to achieve. You can set a similar like columns depending on the thing that you want to work on, and then you start measuring every day. As Ryan said, after some time you'll be able to see the great change. You can measure it. So this is very good. This is inspiring. Now I remember, in the training, we talked about something very interesting, which is when we are planning to change a bad habit, we are having always the trigger. I can't remember the name. That was a different name.
Cue.
Exactly. So how can we, or if we want to explain this to people to help them to change the bad habits in their life?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for bringing that up. So the way that a habit works, before the behavior and after the behavior, there's the driving forces that make the habit happen. So first there's a cue, or as you said, a trigger. It's often visual, but it can also be associated with your time of day. So, most people have some kind of a routine as soon as they wake up. For many of us, it's reaching over and picking up our phone and checking notifications. Others go straight to the washroom, drink a glass of water. Some people like to brush their teeth right away. Usually people have a routine that they follow, and many of their habits fit into that. But sometimes there's a visual cue that reminds us or tells the brain, okay, because this has happened, then I need to take this action. So, for example, my wife bought me a giant pack of vitamins, 500 vitamins, and you're supposed to take one a day. So I needed to develop this new tiny habit and figure out, how am I going to take these vitamins? I haven't done this before. I've never taken vitamins since I was a kid. So how am I going to integrate this habit? So for a long time, I didn't even think about it. It went into the cabinet that we have in the bathroom, and I completely forgot about it. And one day my wife asked me, have you been taking your vitamins? And I didn't even remember that I still had them. So
because
I knew
them somewhere far from your eyes.
Exactly. It was invisible. I never saw it, never noticed it. And so to make the change, I took this big bottle of vitamins and put it on my bedside table, which is right next to where I go into the washroom. Okay. And so every time that I would wake up in the morning, after I come to brush my teeth, I would take the vitamin. And so it was two things there. One was, it was visible. So the bottle of vitamins was sitting right there on the bedside table, right in front of my eyes. So that was a cue to remind me. And number two was, it was connected with a habit that I already had, which was brushing my teeth.
Yes.
So now I have this as a new part of my routine. When I'm finished eating breakfast, I brush my teeth and I take my vitamin. And it's been going on for months. And so now I have this bottle in my medicine cabinet. I don't need to see it every morning anymore, because it's now become a part of my new habit. Exactly. But for somebody who wants to start a new habit, like let's say it's, okay, I want to exercise, take your shoes out, take your workout clothes, or if it's your yoga mat, or you're going to use a Bahia bottle at home to exercise, put it somewhere visible, put it somewhere that you can see. Or if you want to read more, make sure your book is sitting out where you're going to see it. Or if you want to eat healthier food, chop up some apples or put
Put
the
it next
fruit
to.
out on the counter so that when you go into the kitchen ready for a snack, you see the healthy snack right in front of you. It's a visual cue.
And this is something that we can do for both cases. If we want to have a new habit, we bring the thing
Hmm.
next to us so that we can see it, it's visible. We can, we put it next to something that we are used to use. So this, we are
Hmm.
creating like a sequence. So once I use this, I can see the other thing. So it's
Hmm.
becoming systematic. The other way is when we want to remove a bad habit.
That's
Let's
right.
take as an example, if people are saying, no, I don't sleep early because I use my phone until, let's say, 2 o'clock in the morning, then what you
Hmm.
have to do is you take this trigger, you put it somewhere far from the place where you sleep.
Hmm.
Then automatically when you go to sleep, you try to, you force yourself that you don't take this with you. Put it somewhere far where you can't go and take it. And then you just force yourself and you try to do something else. Create a new habit to replace the bad one. Right? Am I
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly
Yeah.
right. Yep. The principle holds true when you reverse it. So instead of making it visible, putting it somewhere where you're going to see it, if it's something that triggers a bad habit, you can try to make it invisible. So we're
Exactly.
saying put the fruit on the counter so when you go into the kitchen, that's what you see. In the same way, put the cookies somewhere difficult to reach. Put them
Exactly.
in the top cupboard, put it where it's difficult. Or if I sit down on my couch and there I have my phone, instead I can put my phone somewhere else and have a book. That's going to increase the amount of reading I do, and it's going to decrease the amount of screen time that I have. So we can change our environment to help us, to give us those boundaries or guidelines to help us be more effective.
And on the top of that, like some people will say, okay, I tried this so many times, it didn't work. But I think that the fact of being willing to change is very important, right? If you
Hmm.
don't have this important, let's say, um, component,
Hmm.
you won't be able to succeed it. You won't be able to create any new habit or remove any bad habit, right?
It's true. I mean, if I asked, hey, does everybody want to be super fit and read a lot and do all their prayer times and be in great relationships with their family? Everybody's going to say yes, of course. Who doesn't want those things? But if you say, okay, well, do you want to give up eating unhealthy snacks? Do you want to wake up early? Do you want to exercise? Do you want to change Netflix for reading? Then people might say, no, I guess I don't want those things that badly. So it's got to be an area that we actually want, that we actually desire.
Exactly. Exactly. So for people who are like, they say, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I tried this so many times. It's not working. And then the willing to change is not really strong.
Mm.
How can we help them to make it stronger? Some people are asking about the topic of the life. We are talking about the power of habits, especially during this difficult times where we are staying at home. So we are helping people to like make them create new habits to stay productive while staying at home. So this is the
Mhm.
topic that we are discussing today.
Yeah,
So
I think many of us really need accountability. So there's a lot of things that we desire, but they're difficult. And so even if we think about it in the long term, it's something we want, but in the short term, it's difficult to choose something that's hard. We want to be comfortable, we want to have the easy way. And so you might say, would you like to look great on the beach this summer? Do you want to be fit and healthy? Say yes. But when it comes to the snack or the dessert that I eat tonight on March
they
24th,
change their mind.
summer is a long, long way away. I don't need to worry about
Exactly.
summer. Right now, I want to eat this cookie. So it can be difficult, but when we use accountability, we can help each other. So some of us struggle to do what is best for ourselves, but we like to please others, and others can help us. They can hold us accountable. And so right now it's difficult to do this because we can't meet up physically with people.
Yeah.
So for example, if it was going to the gym, some of us might be tempted to not do our workouts, but then if we have a friend that's meeting us, we're more obligated. We think, oh, I've got to show up because Fatima-Zahra is expecting me. She's going to be waiting for me, and I'll go because I don't want to disappoint her. I don't want to let her down. Nowadays, that can happen online. So we could do a workout just with our phones on, like doing a video call or on Skype or Zoom or WhatsApp video chat. And we could say, okay, let's meet at 10 a.m. and we're going to do our exercise together. We'll do it at the same time. This can provide the extra motivation because we have accountability. We have somebody who's pushing us and inspiring us.
It's about the commitment as well. It's like when you are committed, you'll find your way to do it. Even if you're not, like, if you're staying at home, you can't leave the house to do this thing, but still you'll try to find different ways to do it. And someone is asking, Kamal Riani, he's saying some people know that commitment is the secret to achieve goals, but they don't commit. Where is the problem? Well, this is what we are talking about. It's like, it's mainly about the commitment, the accountability, trying to find people who will help them to stay motivated and keep being committed to this thing that they want to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, change, the best changes or the most lasting changes, they happen in community. I can see Huda, life coach, saying community that shares the same interests. And it's true, you know, you see people who are part of running clubs, or we have a group on Facebook called the 2020 Reading Challenge. And people are just sharing what books they're reading. We're trying to read 20 books in 2020. And so when I see, oh, so-and-so is reading a book, it inspires me to read more. And so it's going back to having those heroes, to having others that can kind of increase our ambition and provide that accountability, which can really help.
True. So now if I go back to the key word that we have, or that we have in the, you know, the topic of today's live, which is the productivity. Now we talked about the habits, the good habits, bad habits, how to, you know, change things in our life to make it better. Now, during those days that we are staying at home and we want to keep the same level of productivity or to make it higher, better, by playing on our habits, how can we do it?
Yeah, I shared a video this week on my YouTube channel about 10 ideas for increasing our productivity. And then some of the viewers commented and added additional ideas as well. So that's a great resource if people are thinking, okay, well, my schedule's been canceled or my work has been reduced. I have all this extra time. How can I make use of it? There's some great ideas in that video you can find at Maroc Treasure. But some of the ways are, again, going back to that framework of our physical, our mental, our social, emotional, and spiritual selves. We can develop these practices or these routines that help us grow in each of these 4 areas. So for example, last night I stayed up late to have a video chat with some of my friends. They're all over the world. We were on, 3 different continents. And we haven't talked together like that in months, maybe a year since we were all together, even though we're not together physically. And the reason why it happened is because we have this extra time on our hands. So even though it's a challenge, it's also an opportunity.
True. We are having someone, Fatima-Zahra. She's saying, how can we change the habits of waking up early? Since the stay at home, I can't wake up early like us, even if I have a lot of activities all the day.
Yeah, so this is a great question because traditionally, our bodies just do a lot better when we sleep when the sun sleeps. You know, so if we're going to bed at a good time or at a reasonable hour and waking up early, it's much healthier for our bodies, and science backs that up. There's some variation. Some people are night owls, and some people are early birds, but that's only a small range. You can study people who work night shifts, people like nurses and doctors or security guards, and it actually shortens our lifespan. You can live up to 10 years less if you're staying up all night all the time. So it's not a healthy way to live. The other thing is that our willpower, so our ambition or our energy to get things done is highest in the morning at the beginning of the day. It's just like a muscle. It's highest when we wake up and it kind of is depleted and goes down.
During the
Now
day,
again,
yes.
there's some people who can be productive late at night, but I think most of us recognize that when we're staying up late at night, we're often just watching screens. We're often just focused on entertainment. We're playing video games, we're watching series. We're not really accomplishing a lot late at night, typically, for most of us. And so if we can get into a schedule where we're waking up at a good time, it's going to help us be more productive. Now, there's a lot of factors. Obviously, you know, caffeine is somewhere to begin. It does affect our bodies. Our food, if we have a big meal late at night, we want to try to leave some space between when we've eaten and when we go to sleep. Our screen time can affect that. If there can be a space again between using your screen and when you go to sleep. You know, some people, when they read books, it tends to put them to sleep. It makes them tired. Whereas it's hard to fall asleep when you're watching a very exciting series or something that's entertaining you. The environment where we're sleeping, we want to make sure is comfortable. You know, it's dark, it's quiet, the temperature is low. But then also a lot of it has to do with what we've done during the day. If we haven't been active, if our bodies have just been lethargic, we've been sitting on a couch all day long, we haven't burned a lot of energy, we haven't tired out our muscles. And so that can also make it difficult to fall asleep at night. But if you've been working your body, if you've been working your mind, and you take care of all the substances that go into your body and leave a space, almost like a sunset, where you're not using screens, you're not drinking caffeine, you're not eating food, it increases your chances um, of falling asleep. The
Yeah.
other thing
I
is,
think,
go
yeah,
ahead.
it's okay. Go ahead.
The last thing I wanted to say was if you're sleeping in, it's hard to fall asleep at night. And
True.
so if you were to schedule something that you had to wake up, that'll be a difficult day for you. That first day will be tough. You're tired because you didn't get enough sleep that night, but then it'll be easier to fall asleep the next night. So maybe you need that accountability. You need to schedule something that's happening at 9 a.m. or at 8 a.m., which forces you to wake up and start that good cycle.
True. I think here the most important thing to start with for Fatim is to understand what are the reasons
Mm,
behind this. Well, what makes you sleep or stay on your bed or sleep till this time? Okay, so why do you wake up, or she's saying we change the habit of waking up early. She's waking up early, right? This is the habit.
the last comment I can see, she's saying,
Yeah.
but if we actually sleep early but wake up late. So I have
Oh,
some students who have had the same problem. They say, I sleep too much. So I would say, you know, adults typically need between 7 and 9 hours sleep. So if
exactly. You
you,
sleep early, wake up. If you sleep early and wake up early, this is good. It's a good habit. But if you sleep late and wake up late, then try to find what are the reasons behind this so that you
mm,
can change them, so that you can work on them. And then you can work on it using the process that Ryan said just now by finding what are the bad habits that you're having during the day so that you can change them to good habits.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
While we are staying at home, how to manage time to achieve target small goals? This is a question by Mizu.
Yeah, so I think we've already mentioned a few tips that would help for this. One is having a schedule or having a routine. So if you have a set thing you're going to do at a certain time, or even just looking at the week as a whole, if you say, okay, I'm going to do 3 or 4 home workouts, I'm going to, work on my hobby, learning a new language or learning a musical instrument on these days. You have that schedule, and then you can build in some accountability, and you can leave lots of space too. There can still be a lot of time to, take a nap or catch up with a friend or watch a series. You can still leave those big gaps. That's why I'm saying start small, but just make sure that each day you're accomplishing some key things that are moving you forward in the areas that you care about.
I say that, because this is something that a lot of people are struggling with, which is managing time. It's very important to take it very simple, like just have a pen and paper. Write something on this paper. What do you want to do exactly? When do you want to do it? Okay? Then just write it on this paper, commit to it, do the best to do it, okay? And that's it. And you'll be able to manage your time. It doesn't take too much, to make it happen. You just need to write it first, have it in front of you, and then commit to it. Say, this is the time when I do this, when I do that. This is what I want to do. This is the objective. And then get yourself forced to do it. For me, I think this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I'm finding right now, with the way things are, I need a little more flexibility in my schedule because my whole family is home and my kids are doing homeschool, and so they sometimes need some help, or we don't have enough computers, and so one of my kids might need to borrow my laptop, or I need to go and help somebody with their homework. So I'm increasing the amount of flexibility in my schedule, but each day I just have a few main activities. So I might say, okay, I'm going to do a live with Fatima-Zahra at 4 p.m. I had another podcast interview at 2 p.m. I had another call at 11 a.m. and, something I wanted to accomplish. And they're not back to back to back. I'm not trying to control every minute. You can even schedule in just some flexibility, some free time for fun things, but just a few key things that you want to accomplish each day. And these add up over time, and you'll figure out, wow, I've made a lot of progress this week on my most important goals.
Yeah, I mean, you can change, when you write things on a paper, you can change them according to what you want to achieve first. That's fine. But the most important is to write it down, know what you want to do exactly, because most of people who are complaining about time management, they didn't set what they want to do exactly. So if you don't know what you want to do, then you don't know from where to start. You don't know what to achieve first. Then you're lost. So once you want to work on something, you're like, what do I have to do first? You're, struggling to find from where to start. And you stay like this the whole day. So boom, you're not able to manage your time. Simply because you didn't, identify what you want to do exactly.
Yeah, that's good. So this has all changed now because of coronavirus. But before that happened, I had a really simple, and this is messy, so it's a little embarrassing, but just a really simple schedule throughout the week. And you can see, like, I've got a few language lessons, I've got some time with my wife, I've got some time with my kids, I've got some time for my faith, just a few key things, and then some spaces too. So things that come up that aren't regular activities or just appointments or other work I need to do, those fit into the gaps in between. but there's the big ideas or the big key parts of my schedule, just a couple each day that are locked in, because those are the things that lead to my goals. They lead to the most important areas of my life.
True, true. Talking about productivity, I would like to tell people that Ryan is very, very, very creative man. Uh, he has been putting some videos on YouTube where he's speaking Arabic Darija. So he's learning Darija right now. And I really invite you all to go and watch those videos. They are very good, very well structured, so funny, so proud to see someone who's trying to speak Darija, who's not Moroccan. And you're like, it's fluent, you know? For me, you are speaking a fluent Darija. So I congratulate you for that. And this is something very interesting, you know, when you're trying to learn something new, you just created it as a new habit in your life to learn this language. So you just booked it on your calendar and you made this change that you wanted to make in your life. So it's very good, very interesting. And this is like a good example to people to encourage them to learn new stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's an ongoing process. I'm definitely not fluent yet, and the video is, you know, a bit deceiving. I had help because I had a script and I could edit the video, but the idea is I'm spending a few hours each week with my tutor, working on my language, and then over time, you know, if you stay consistent, then over months and over years, you can make incredible progress and you can learn something that's very difficult, but just piece by piece or step by step. And that's what my first video in Darija was about. It was Nokta bi Nokta ke Hamil Wed, right? Drop by drop, the river grows. So it's just these little tiny steps that can get you there. And this is true of any of the habits that we really want to develop, including building our relationships. You don't have an amazing relationship with a boyfriend or a husband or a wife just in one day. It's a lot of slow steps, a lot of just conversations and ways to love them and serve them. And over time, you have this incredible marriage or an incredible amount of trust built up between two people. Same for business partners. It doesn't happen overnight. But
The sound.
over time.
Something wrong with the sound. With the mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Maybe I was pressing on the headphone. Sorry.
Okay. And this is the thing, you know, this is exactly what we are trying to do. You're touching the mic, maybe? It's giving some noise. The sound is gone. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
I can't hear you.
No?
Yeah.
What if I unplug my headphones? Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Sorry about that.
I was saying that this is the point. This is what we want people to learn from this life. Which means that having few good habits every day, we are learning something new. And then by the end of this time, this difficult time that we are all living, you will end up by having something big to use to start a new life.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the exciting part of all this, is there's an opportunity to really make big progress in a short time just by taking consistent action.
Exactly. So I'm going to go through the comments quickly. But, yeah. Useful, thank you. Hello Ryan, thanks for this live. We needed further success and practical examples from people like Coach Fatima-Zahra. Is there any way to keep in touch? Yeah, you can get in touch with me directly. Consistency is the key. Best lecture in the world. Okay. I think that's it for me today. I let you say something to us to finish this great life that we had with you.
Well, yeah, thank you for everybody who joined us, and thank you, Fatima-Zahra, for initiating this. This is incredible. I think having, you know, some great content on Instagram, a lot of times we might turn to Instagram because we're bored or we're procrastinating and we're just looking for entertainment and distraction, and then you're entering into this platform and giving great value and motivation. So thank you for all that you've been adding to the community and providing just that inspiration, that motivation to use this time well, to be productive and to come out a better version of ourselves than at the beginning of all this. So thank you for what you're offering.
Thank you so much. Thank you for you, Ryan. It was a great pleasure to have you today in my life. Thank you so much for people who have been watching us. And I'll say the famous sentence, hello, Morocco. Please try to learn good stuff from internet. Try to learn from people who are, on the net giving you or spreading wisdom like Mr. Ryan. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you very soon, inshallah, after this difficult time that we have or that we're living. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My
Thank you,
regards to your
Fatima-Zahra.
wife, your family. Thank you so much.
You as well. God bless you. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.